Let's look at how to make alphabets. I have here a file which I've already created, and this background actually happens to come from an action from Monica Larson. You could create a board like this for yourself if you prefer, or if you purchase somebody else's actions, they may have some other type of file which you would have to learn how to use. But if you wanted to, you could create a board like this just to space out your letters. You really don't need to. You can just put your letters randomly out there without a board. The purpose of this board is so that her action will work appropriately. You have to have the letters in the boards so that it will cut them apart and put them into individual files for you. You don't even need to use her action at all. I'm kind of going to show you how you can do that too. What you want to do first is to choose your font. Of course, very important to utilize a copyright friendly font, one that allows you to use fonts for commercial use. Even if you're giving something away as a freebie, you still need to use a font that allows commercial use. And so what I've done here is just taken my text tool and created all of these layers, one for each letter, and spread them out. Of course, I did it to work with this action. I'm going to show you about how it works later. And you could leave these individually like this if you wanted to work with them, but I prefer to go ahead and merge them then all into one file. And so I'm going to click on the top layer, hold down my Shift and Control keys both at the same time, scroll down and click on the bottom layer, and you're going to see it has darkened all of the layers, showing that they are now all selected. I'm going to right click, and the option is not there. Sometimes it drives me nuts. Sometimes the options are there and sometimes they're not. And so I'm going to go now to the layer drop down menu, and you can see here it says merge layers, or you can just press Control E and it will merge all of the layers that you have selected together into one file now. But I'm going to close this out. I'm not going to save it because I have this file here that I've already progressed a little further on it. And so these bottom layers here are the same ones that we were looking at in the previous file, and this is the layer with it all merged together. And now what you want to do is to specialize your alphabet in whatever manner that you want. I brought in some pieces, my piece of cardboard, and I copied the layer and put it under each of the alphabet until, let's go ahead and ungroup these. Layer, ungroup, just so you can see what I've got going on here a little better. And I duplicated them until I had them, let's get this to where you can see it, until I had them under each of the letters appropriately, and I actually merged them all together into one file. And so what I want to do is to make each of these a cardboard letter. Now you can use a piece of paper. Maybe you want to make an alphabet that matches your kit, and you can just take a piece of paper or whatever else you might want to utilized to make this really cool alphabet. And then what I did was to bring the paper layer or your texture layer above the alphabet layer, and I hit Control G to group them. Now you can see when I zoom in that each of these letters is now looks like it's a piece of cardboard. The next thing that you would want to do is to add any layer styles that you might want to have. If you go in here, bevels is one that that would be quite popular, and I'm going to put that on this lower layer here. You can see the bevel is way too high because the letters are so small, and I actually bring this all way down. And so maybe you don't even want to merge your alphabet with the cardboard. Maybe let's just go ahead and copy this so we can play, so I can show you. I'll turn these two off. And we have here our alphabet, and it has the bevel on it. But maybe you might want to go in here and just play with, see here's some the Flirt's glitter styles, and you can add just a glitter style to it, and now you have a alphabet with the glitter style on it. Whatever styles that you have out there that you might have downloaded, here's one that is concrete that I have, and so you can see that makes a whole nother type of letter there. And if you wanted to add a drop shadow, you could do that. And let's say I'm playing with this one now, and I wanted to do some dodging and burning to it to make each letter unique. Let's go ahead and go back to the cardboard one. And what I could do with this one is to go ahead, and I don't know why I got an extra layer in there, go ahead and hold down my Control key and click on both of these. I'm going to right click this time, and now you're going to see merge layers. And now that's going to be one layer. And if I wanted to go ahead and get my dodge and burn tools, I'll check out the burn one, and I might want to go ahead and actually take my time and individually make changes on each one of these letters. I'm going to hold down my spacebar key since I am zoomed in to get the hand tool to move over to the next letter. And maybe I might want just to burn it here or there, or use the dodge tool. So you can see how you could go through and make each one of those a little bit more unique, so they're not all uniformly the same. And I'm not going to take the time to really do all this, but just to give you an idea of how you can go back in now with each one of these and make them unique. I actually, in one of my samples, have added some stitching to it. And so once you get your letters exactly the way you want them, I'm going to click here on the photo effects. This is the third icon over where I have them installed. You might have them installed in the guided area if you're in Photoshop Element 7. And these are the three actions of Monica Larson's, and she has three different ones. One's for the capital letters, lowercase letters, and the numbers and signs. And so since this I have capital letters here, I would just, well, before I show you that, let's do another thing. This is how you would do this manually. And let's do it manually first so you can see how difficult it is. And let's say I've got my letter here, and I could go ahead and get my crop tool, draw around it, do a file, save as, and save that as a PNG file. Then I would have to hit undo and go to my next letter, crop it, do a file, save as, and once again save that as a PNG and name it. And so you could see how this can be done individually, but how time consuming that is to go ahead and do 26 letters in large caps, 26 letters in the lowercase, and then your numbers. It would take a very long time to save them. That's why these action files that you can buy are so beneficial. And so I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to simply click on this, and it's going to come up, and it's going to allow me to change some style settings if I want, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click OK, and here it is. The action is running, and it is actually cutting it this quickly into 26 different PNG files, plus a PNG file that is a master list, I guess you would say, for those that don't like the individual files and would rather have one file to cut all of their alphabet from. Definitely a space saver. Okay, it is done, and now I have a file opened up here where each one of these is imported into. Let me expand this, and you can see this is just on local disk C and then under Alpha Saver. And this is just what she has, where she has hers action set up to save each one of these. And so now I can open it up, and you can see there's the alphabet. Of course, the stitching is not good here. I actually did something else to take that stitching off in the ones I was working with, but I'll show you that here in just a minute. What I did. Let's finish moving forward here. And so since it always sends it to this alpha file on the C drive, I want to actually move these out of here fairly quickly, and so I'm going to press Control A to select them all, and I have another folder I've already created, and I'm going to move them over here. That way when I get ready to go in here and save the lowercase alphabet, this folder will be empty and ready to go. And so you want to move these out into batches by types files. Now you're going to notice that the files have a name-A, name-B, name-C. So what we want to do now is to batch rename these files so that they work with your kit, and so that they have your designer name on them. And there are lots of files you can rename with software. There's lots of various softwares you can rename with. I tried doing it with the organizer. The organizer actually batch renamed it and renamed them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So it wasn't the best choice. I do know that AC/DC will batch rename them perfectly, but it's a program you have to purchase. But if you have that program, go ahead and use it to batch rename. I found this file, and I'm going to give you a link to it. It's called File Renamer Basic. I found this file at download.com, or this software at download.com, and I found it worked perfectly and quickly. And so I'm going to share with you how to use this one since it is free and anybody can utilize it without having to purchase anything extra. Here is my folder, and here is each of these individual ping files. And what I want to do is it starts up with this tab here, or it might be this tab here. I'm going to choose the find and replace, and what I want to do is just put in name because I want to replace that with my the appropriate name for my files, which is going to be my designer name, and then maybe just cardboard. And what it's going to do is it's going to replace each of these name in each of the files, but it's going to leave the alphabet and the PNG. And with this file you can select preview, and it's going to show you here what the new one's going to look like, and if it looks satisfactory to you, go ahead and hit apply, and just like that they're all renamed. And that still has the A because this is the letter A, this still has the B for B, and etc. So that is a really quick, handy little file. I'll give you the link. Software. I keep saying the word file for software. It's been a long day. But I guess you get what I mean. Let me show you about that problem on the stitching. When I added the stitching, I used Terry Maruka's stitching, and it went a little bit beyond. And so in order to fix that, I'm going to go ahead and hold down the control key to get marching ants around the letters as I hit here on this thumbnail, and then I'm going to right click. Oh, it's not there again. Sometimes these things are on right clicking and they're not. It drives me nuts. Select drop down menu inverse, or you can use Shift Control I. And then I'm going to go up to this stitching layer and hit delete, and then to this stitching layer and hit delete. And now that Control D to deselect, and now that cleaned up that stitching that was the outside of the cardboard pieces. And so now when you save this, we'll go ahead and do it and watch it run. It's going to be a lot cleaner. There it is running. Here's the file folder it's going to be going into, so you can kind of watch it happen. Really cool. So if you're going to share and do a lot of alphabets in your kits, definitely an action that is well worth the money. And there they all came in. It's not quite done there. Now it's done. And now when I open up to view one of these, you can see it's a little bit better. Still not quite. It's best. Don't know what's going on there. I'd have to investigate it further. But basically that's how you make alphabets. It's pretty easy. Be creative and use your actions. Other people, I know Flurgs has an action. Don't know how it works because I've never played with it. It's probably very similar to this one. I'm sure there's others out there that have actions too. This is just the one I happen to have. Or if you don't have the money to buy those actions and you still want to put the time in using the crop tool and the save as after you get your file done, certainly works also. And actually that's the way I did it for a long time. If you have any questions, certainly ask in the forums, and please do share with me what your results are after making your own alphabets, and thanks so much for watching.